What's going on, Omnibuddies? Mitch here, and today we are looking at the deluxe oversized hardcover of Murder Falcon. This is written and illustrated by Daniel Warren Johnson with color by Mike Spicer and published by Image Comics. How's it going, Omnibuddies? Mitch here, and we are, yes, looking at Murder Falcon by Daniel Warren Johnson. I'm late to the parade on this book because I've heard about this book for what seems like decades, but it's not that old. But I have heard so much good, like high praise for this book, and it has been on my wish list, my to buy list for a very long time. And then I finally picked it up, and then it was on my to read pile for what seems like just as long. And I finally, it was actually a couple months ago, got around to reading it, but now I am finally getting around to actually making the overview video of this. And man, this has been a long time coming because I absolutely enjoyed this book. I'm not going to talk about it too much right now. We're going to lay it down on the table. We're going to take a look at it that way. So man, like I said, I'd heard so many good things about it. Universal high praise. I went into this, like most books, I try and go into them completely blind without knowing much about them at all. I do the same thing with movies and TV shows. I try and not know anything about them, just that people love them. I try not to watch anything more than the first teaser or two of any movie coming out. I try not to watch any trailers because I feel like it just spoils too much. I'd rather just know, hey, this is a great book about time travel, or a great book about like a great fantasy adventure book or something like that. And I went into this knowing that it is like crazy metal music and fighting and all that. And that's all I really knew about it other than all the high praise. And man, I am so glad that I didn't know anything more about it. So if you're like me and you don't want any spoilers on what kind of the book is about or the story or anything like that, it's best to probably shut it off when I change angles and we go to look at this book laying down on the table. But I try not to spoil much in the story, and I try not to give away too much because, especially with a story like this, there's some really cool reveals in it. And so I'm not going to talk about all of those. I'm just going to give a very high-level overview of the actual book and story and talk about it that way. I'd rather not spoil much of it for you that way. All right, I'm going to stop just talking off the cuff here. Let's lay this book down and find out why you should be picking it up. All right, so here we have the deluxe edition of Murder Falcon. It has nice gloss cover and the UV spot foiling or whatever you want to call it on the murder of Murder Falcon. Kind of looks like it's raised, but it's not. It's all nice and flat here. A little bit of matting here, but the rest of this is gloss. Then we have the spine here with a little bit more foil on the logo. And this is published by Image Comics, and it does retail for $29.99 USD. And there's a little back cover, nice, cool looking. The Murder Falcon himself right there, having fun as they're driving that the band van all over the place, all crazy. The dragon wagon. Anyways, all right, let's dig into this and see what we have. We have a little bit of art on the end sheets. I'm always a fan when they do something with the end sheets. This is pretty nice, just nice little art going on. All right, so let's get right into it. This is created by Daniel Warren Johnson. So it is writer, artist, and co-letterer on issues 1 through 3 of Murder Falcon. And then we have Mike Spicer, who is the colorist, Russ Wooten, who is also the letterer. And then we have editors in here and all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, definitely a lot of great stuff in here. This does come to us through Skybound and Image Comics. And yeah, little thanks for being here from Mr. Johnson himself. And then we get right into things right here, and you just start off with like big old monsters and like destroying the city, and so it jumps right into it. And then you got the dragon wagon rolling up, and we got our main character, Jake, coming out, and he has brought the medal, and he is about to bring the pain because the pain is the Murder Falcon. And yeah, so it gets right into this, and if you're not feeling it right now, then you're not feeling it at all. But yeah, so this story is crazy fun. It is not taking itself overly serious with the tone of things. You know, it knows what it is and it does it well. The story's super fun, and you know, obviously it's playing with the whole metal genre, and you know, he's obviously playing metal on his guitar, and he is somehow powering the Murder Falcon with his playing metal on his guitar, and the Falcon just goes to town killing some monsters. So that is kind of how the story intros, and then it jumps back, and you then find out how things got to where they are. You meet Jake, you meet a bunch of his band members and friends, and you're quickly thrown into the fact that something's a little off with Jake. He's been through some stuff and he's feeling down, and you kind of get that, but you don't know exactly what yet. And then all of a sudden he is, boom, attacked by some monsters, and he is protected by the Falcon himself. And yeah, it gets, you know, Jake's weirded out by it, and the Falcon, Murder Falcon is just, yeah, this is what we do. This is how we do it. Of course, just do your thing and I'll do my thing. And, you know, it's just all normal. And it's not normal for Jake, and he has to acclimate to that. And yeah, and that's what happens. And then things get kind of explained a little bit. I'm not going to say what happens, why it happens, how it happens, because you know what? I don't want to spoil things, and I hate when things get spoiled for me, and I'm not going to spoil them for you. I will say, I thought that this story was going to be kind of fluff and not have much depth to it. And while it doesn't take itself seriously, like I said before, it does take the depth of the characters and the things that they have gone through and are going through. It takes those very seriously. So while you're having fun, you're also actually getting some good depth to these characters and some good emotional beats and story beats along the way. I absolutely love this story from start to finish. It does a nice paced reveal, not like a super slow reveal. Not everything's revealed up front. It is good paced along the way and really good pacing. So if you're looking for a book that you can just go through and not have to worry about, oh, I'm finally getting to that cliffhanger, and you know, or they're going to leave you on a big cliffhanger, you're not really going to have this with this book. It just clips along really nicely. And so when I was able to, I didn't want to put it down because I was enjoying it, but I didn't feel like, I got to read this next few pages to figure out what's going on because I've been waiting forever. It just does a really nice paced reveal along the way of all the characters and the situation along the way. So as far as art goes, I'll say that this art was super fun. It has a lot of great detail. I mean, obviously it's Daniel Warren Johnson. His art is fantastic. You're seeing, you know what you're getting. I love the just kind of thick black lines that he uses to like shadow things. It very much has that like metal look to it. And then has a lot of fun with using, you know, the guitars and the drums and all the craziness and all that kind of stuff going on, and the lightning. And like a lot of times I'll say, like with big fight scenes, you get like, you get the action lines in there or something, but there's not a lot of detail in that. With this book, there's always a ton of detail in there with what's going on. and the art and the color is just, Spicer's color is just perfect for this book. Absolutely perfect. He nails it, and just really supplements and complements Danny Warren Johnson's art in such a great way. Okay, so we've talked about the book, we've talked about the story, we've talked about the art. Now I'd like to talk about the extras in this book. Let's flip all the way to the back. I haven't shown you too much of this because I really don't want to give it away. The story behind Jake and what he went through and what his friendships have gone through and his band and what he will actually go through in the story. I don't want to hit on any of that because it's just so fantastic and so cool, and it just keeps building. And I mean, come on, it's got this like, it looks like something out of like Godzilla almost. Oh man, with kind of these monster kaiju. It's got that going on, but it's got kind of a little bit of that 80s fantasy metal band genre going on too with it. So cool. I enjoyed it. Let's get right to the extras now. So with the extras, you actually get a lot in here for this. Let's see, let's go through. We got a sketchbook of the characters, which is super fun. Obviously Warren's really, really thick lines come through here with his sketches. Let's get going here. There's some notes in there if you saw, some layouts a little bit. And then you get into the like layouts of the pages and the kind of the, it's not really painted because I think he's using like those really thick markers to lay down those thick black lines. And then, you know, uses the pens and ink that way too. But I think he kind of supplements both to really give that fine detail along with those thick, just oppressive black, dark lines and paints in here. So really nice extras to see that in here. We got a little cover art gallery, some credits in there. So really fun cover art. They did some really cool stuff in here. With the covers, and then a little bit of extra here to some of the Bandcamp, bruticusbandcamp.com, so you can go hear some of the songs there too, and then a little bit about Daniel Warren Johnson, and then boom, and hey, we got some art on the back end sheets. Love when they do art on these end sheets, like I said before. All right, so not a like extravagant amount of extras, but it does the job well. And I very much enjoyed this book from end sheets to end sheets. Hot dang, I am so in love with this book. I love this book. It definitely, I worry about this a lot when all I hear is good things about a piece of media, be video or even audio or published. I get real nervous when it's just all super good hype, and I am happy to say that it actually like lived up to that hype. I think that the story, sometimes you're left wanting more story after it's done, and that's not always a bad thing. I'm always a fan of stop while you're ahead and leave the audience wanting just a little bit more, especially in favor of overstaying your welcome and having some movie, TV show, book go on far too long and it just drag on and kind of lose its readership and just be too slow overall pacing. But this book actually just absolutely nailed that fine line of wanting more and not wanting any more. And it's it walked that line perfectly to the point where I don't want any more of this story. I don't need any more of this story. I hope that there is no more of this story to tell because it was really well paced. It was really fun, and I had a blast reading it. And I was never, while I was reading it, thinking, I wish they'd slow down a little bit, or I wish they'd speed up a little bit. I was just having fun the entire way. It was a relatively quick read, but that's no real fault. It's just telling the story as is and taking the time that it needed to tell that story. I loved it. If you are interested in picking up Murder Falcon, you can use my code Omnibuddy over at channel sponsor Organic Price Books. If you use Omnibuddy, you get $2 off every order of $1 to $3 3 books. If you're ordering 4 more books at the same time, I wouldn't pre-order with that because then you're going to be waiting on all the pre-orders to come in before your book ships out. But you can use Omnibuddy, ship it together, and get 4 books that are especially in stock right then and there, or maybe they're coming out in like a week or 2 and you're willing to wait for the other books. But definitely use my code, use any other creator code out there. There are a ton of great creators out there on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all over the place that are sharing the love with OPB. It's a great place to hit up and check out. They got great prices and really great shipping and customer service. So hit them up. But in even if you're not going to use them, get this book somewhere and support your local comic shop or your favorite store or whatever. But definitely pick this book up, read it. Super good. All right, I'll stop talking now. Make sure to, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, do all those things like I say. But like I say in every video, I say comment. Let me know in the comments what your favorite book is that is just like an absolute like mayhem, always like crazy fighting and just it's extra is kind of how I don't know. Is that what the kids are saying nowadays? I don't think so. I think that's even older than, I don't know. But that just takes it up a notch, takes it to 11. It is that Spinal Tap going to 11. Let me know in the comments what book that you love that does that and does it well and why in your comments, that we can all read those books that definitely take it up a notch and are just over the top fun, action, and crazy. They just take the crazy and go crazy and have fun with it. All right, that's it. Take care. Stay cool.